Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready now.
Okay, well, hello again, and we're here at the family plot for Thomas White in Maple Hill Cemetery in October 2025. And what you see behind me are the gravestones for Thomas White and his wife Susan and some of their children. And these stones were just cleaned last year, and so I want to talk to you about Thomas White here now. At age 22, Thomas came to Huntsville. His father, James White, had been dead a few years. And he came here, and you know, the family had 3 large plantation farms here. And so he came here, and we've often wondered how he came here and became successful. Of course, he inherited the property, but how would he know what to do? 22 years old. Well, our research showed us that soon after coming, he married this woman who was a granddaughter of Alabama Governor Bibb. And her father was one of the largest cotton brokers in the South. Okay. And then we ask ourselves, well, how did he connect with these people? And we've concluded that his mother, Eliza, corresponded with people in Huntsville, and we've concluded that it was really set up. Okay. So he was married on William Street in the big Bibb home that's there.
Is that the one on the corner?
No.
Okay.
It's a big brick home. And it was Governor Bibb, the second governor. The first governor was William Bibb.
Okay.
Well, there's another identical but much larger home in Limestone County that Bibb also had. But he had the home here in Huntsville. It's not a mile and a half from where we are now. And they had a wedding rehearsal dinner. And the story, this is a true story, that it was so loaded with food, the entire table collapsed on the floor.
Wow.
The house full of people. So that's an interesting story.
That is interesting.
Thomas and Susan raised 12 children. And Thomas came here about 1842. Earlier we were talking about Addison. That's Thomas's brother. He came here about 8 years later. He was one of the youngest children. So that's Thomas who raised 12 children. His brother Aston had 6 children. I told you yesterday, here in 1870, 1880, there were 18 children in this town, a town population that's that's 18 families. Thomas was mayor of Huntsville at some point. Thomas was on the board of directors for the Memphis Charleston Railroad that connected, went across the whole South.
And that's the train that goes across Watriana?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And that's potentially the train that my great-grandfather James Gill was on when
He rode that train
to Arkansas, to Marble.
He rode that train through Madison,
Yeah.
and if you go to the depot,
Yes.
he boarded the train there.
Yes.
And I showed you earlier the gravestone of Mamie Watkins Hayes,
Yes.
the young woman who died in childbirth.
Yes.
Well, they brought her from Kansas City, her
On
body,
that train.
to the depot here in
Yes.
Huntsville.
We had heard stories about our great-grandfather being at the depot, but we really didn't know what the connection was. Some of the folklore was that he was sold, like the stories would show how captured people would be sold at train stations, and so we had heard a story akin to that. However, now what I'm hearing is that is the depot where he boarded the train to go to Marble, where he settled. I have another question for you, Bill. Your great uncle and his brother Thomas, when they came here so young and they inherited land, did they inherit slaves at the same time?
First, Addison is my great-great-uncle.
Right.
Okay. He
Yes.
and Thomas are brothers.
Yes.
So their dad's dead,
Yes.
but the plantations continue to operate.
And so it was their seniors who had.
All the business, we concluded was run by Mrs. White, Dad Bibb, and her son, eldest son, William Young White. They were out. So when did these boys, these men, actually obtain title? It could have been years later because it took 25 years more than 25 years to
To
settle
settle
the
this.
will because James White had many partnerships. He owned land in different states. The wills were contested. There were lawsuits that drug on and on and on. So when did he become the owner and of what property? I'm not sure. I think that he certainly had a role in the Planet Emerald Delphi here because he's talked about in James Gilbert's narrative, right? Did he own that? I don't know. I do know that years later Addison owned it. And Addison bought other property after the TVA flooded the plantation farm. So who owned what, when, and when? We're still trying to unravel that.
And so what we also understand from Sunoco, their story is in